Star Fox Zero is the newest entry into the Star Fox series and the first game in the series after 10 years. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to get the only problems I have with this game out of the way first. Around the web, a lot of people seem to hate this game for its controls. I think they are overreacting as I find the new control scheme, which I'll explain in a second, to be very fun and easy to use. My only problem is really just nitpicking, but sounds like music only plays through the TV speaker, and all character dialogue only plays through the Wii U gamepad speaker. This causes many problems in my capture environment, but as a casual player, you probably won't see this as a problem, so it's not that big of a deal in the end. Okay, let's get into the meat. Star Fox Zero is an epic return to the action shooter where you play as a fox who leads a squad of other animals in the fight against an army of a giant monkey named Andross. The story is pretty close to Star Fox 64 and takes place after Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. If you played Star Fox 64, you pretty much know how the story is going to go. Let's get to the gameplay. The game includes a pretty major addition to the gameplay. When you look at the TV, you get the classic third-person camera that was in the previous games. When you look down at the Wii U gamepad, you see a first-person view from inside the cockpit of your R-Wing. You control your ship just like previous games. You can do barrel rolls, boosts, U-turns, and somersaults. Your aiming is separate though. It uses motion controls from the gamepad. You just move around the gamepad and it moves your reticle. They also added a lock-on button that will focus the TV camera on the objective in certain situations and enemy, and add a more precise crosshair on the gamepad screen. As I stated earlier, I really like the control style, and I got good at it by the end of the first level. There are also some other vehicles. The R-Wing can transform into a walker vehicle that runs around and can fit into smaller spaces. This is used for easier ground combat and infiltrations. There's also the return of the Landmaster, which is a tank. The Landmaster can also transform into a heavy flying vehicle that can only stay in the air for a short amount of time. The final vehicle is a gyrocopter. The gyrocopter hovers and can move up and down. It's used for stealth and it has a robot you can drop out of it that can hack enemy computer systems. In addition to the main game, there are also training and challenge missions you can unlock by collecting the gold medals in the main game. Speaking of the main game, just like the previous games, there are a few different ways to get through the game because there are multiple endings to the levels and they will bring you to a different level. After you complete the main game, you unlock another mode called Arcade Mode. In Arcade Mode, you play through the main game, but you only have one life and can only carry one extra life at a time. If you get a game over, it is really game over and it ends your playthrough. Arcade Mode also takes out the stage select screen, and you go straight through level to level. There is also another thing you unlock when you beat Arcade Mode, but I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Overall, I love Star Fox Zero, and I'm going to 100% this game because I find the gameplay to be very fun and it's hard to put down. Not to mention, Star Fox Zero also came with a whole other game called Star Fox Guard, but I'll talk about that another time. As I said, there are multiple paths you can take in levels. In the first level of Corneria, when you pass over these bridges, you will see a button. If you transform into the walker, you will hit the button and go to an alternate path, and go into a portal that will take you to an alternate version of the boss of this level. My first time I finished Arcade Mode, I did it in 54 minutes. I would say that's pretty good for my first time.